They just let us go? You wanna explain what the heck happened back there?
You wanna talk about what happened between you and Reyna back there?
Oh, good one.
We have a distant advantage between us and the hunters.
The hunters include fascists, WrecktoMancer, psychopaths, and the police. That's if they aren't one and the same.
My thoughts exactly.
Alright, pull up what we have on WrecktoMancer's present whereabouts.
Nothing concrete. From my estimation, he was able to commit some sort of vanishing act once reinforcements arrived from the opposite side.
Alright, what do we have on Reyna Zayne?
The status is similar. More like they were in sync with each other. You think that they're working together?
Not sure.
Wait, I thought Reyna was on our side!
That's what I thought too.
I gotta admit, they gave us a run for our money.
Us?
Us! Oh, that's right. You weren't there!
It didn't take much to tell that you made a mess of things after they went wrong.
Well, they foiled my attack. My plan!
Your plan, your attack, carried out by fascists. That's where you went wrong.
Okay, everyone. The reason we are all here is because I requested everyone to be here. I have been framed for an assassination I didn't commit. A contact, Johnny Cesar, hitman, gave me access to a facility on East 11th and Hudson Avenue. In that building is some information regarding proof that I didn't commit the assassination. Some sort of paperwork or files or something. Something that might exonerate me. The problem is, East 11th and Hudson Avenue disappeared for reasons why appear to be unknown. So that's why I enlisted the help of Delphinia.
The battlegrounds apparently didn't deliver. No matter, we always have room for adjustments.
The defense forces are launching aerial drones to Overwatch.
Then we'll deploy counters. Romulus, apply blending. It should allow me to dismantle the enforcements. They want an uncivil war, then they'll have another one.
And what about your fascist goons you hired?
I'll take care of them, one way or the other.
I enlisted Delphinia Sanjingerdo to aid us with this mission. She knows our opponent from past to next. Alright, Delphinia, let's debrief.
Russell requested my assistance. With my expertise, I was able to put together a lead, a tip that felt intentional for me to follow,
With the suspicion of a trap.
which felt very unusual to the puzzle. So it led me to believe there was going to be an event other than the one Russell has been framed for. The fiasco that has us fleeing for our lives.
The manhunt that's underway for us, dead or alive. The Press Garden Center. It's connected?
Absolutely. I concluded with evidence that WrecktoMancer hired renegade Nazi fascist muscles to commit a terrorist attack.
To bomb the tech convention. And frame Russell for another murder.
Exactly.
Boys, I'm sure there's been a lot of agitation in your wake.
We ain't trying to hear all that. See, me and my boys right here, we were kind enough to put up with the funds, but the mission didn't live up to the hype, WrecktoMancer, and we the wrong ones that they call boys. See, that's something we do and say. So what's it gonna be, WrecktoMancer? You gonna do your job, or do we gotta take over?
I'm in charge here. You all work for me now, without pay. The only thing you'll be compensated for are your lives. Are we clear? How many times must I tell these people that I'm the freaking boss here?
Tech convention. That was the event scheduled for today?
Actually, the whole week. A calendar of events allowed me to pinpoint the location of the potential target of attack.
The tech convention was a mass casualty event, potentially.
Now thwarted.
Delphinia, was the foil expected?
Unsure if there was an anticipation, but if we know WrecktoMancer, he has plenty more tricks up his sleeve.
The fascists, gangs, Zakat defectors, renegade law enforcements, are all in my control. See, control and power are useless illusions, but command and control is my most greatest asset!
A law enforcement perimeter should be closing within 5 hours. We shouldn't be able to hold their current positions to give us enough time to scheme. Hey, how far is the next point? Actually, not that far. It's only 9 blocks.
We could even level the equipment across the way.
Depending on the size. Let's see if we can rotate. WrecktoMancer. DCOM has launched a full-on assault upon defectors. They have persuaded the Autonomous to engage so they can become close to this sector.
Autonomous armies have sided with the Wait! How pathetic! Have a few drugs, take a few psycho drives, and blow up their radius!
So I was able to spot our opponents by recording surveillance.
And how you got the intel on the attack? What were the discussions? Any further plans in the aftermath?
It was hard to make out. A lot of coded language was used as if they knew how to cover their tracks. But something else came up.
What's that?
Over time, you've seen systems, Imperials, regimes control the greatest. But what if you could control the worst of the worst? That's my vision. That's what I have.
You mean that's what you want?
Oh no, my fellow ghostly teeth. I have them. I have control of the crazies.
The crazies can't be controlled.
I can. What I do is exploit them. Instead of me creating an army, turn them into a legion. I have scattered the crazies, placing them in marginal areas, which should spread their chemical conditions into fields and energy, creating polarizations, which should position my commanded loyals to flex their enforcings.
As if you can't command the crazies.
There are ways, if not, they'll burn out, retire, or just be disposed of.
WrecktoMancer has studied this planet's worst at the top, starting from the bottom. Whether they be drugs, Zakar, Ramuroids, fascists, street gangs, crime lords, corrupt police forces, renegade military battalions. WrecktoMancer's ambition is to command and control these subjects for his own rule.
Which he already has.
He exploited the strategies of divide and conquer with simplistic utility, but very effective in his approach. WrecktoMancer's emphasis is his philosophy of command and control. According to the research, his fascination with history ended certain figures who have encased their legacies cemented in the stones that are rooted in the casualties and bloodstains of conflict and domination, disregarding any historical truths that have transitioned throughout time and its cosmos, recognizing only the rulers that have been the end result. His vision this current is to rule the one thing no one in such a profession has envisioned: psychopathic regulation. The regulation of psychopaths. Legions, diminishing autonomy, replacing it with a subconscious will.
An unconscious consensual function supplied with an illusion of self-cognizance. Freedom.
Doing away with the professional aspects.
Restructured with a more delinquent substitute to configure the subject into a juvenile stage, depending on the many of number of evolutionary processes WrecktoMancer will need to convert the many of number of servitudes on his agenda of intentions.
That's where he'll start. But if he can build enough number of psychopaths, especially to get them to infiltrate environments important to natural being, then he did something.
Well, that's the thing. No one takes such a thing seriously.
Well, that's the reality.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The public is in danger of a threat.
Exactly. No, that's the problem. Reality. That is reality's problem. Not the opposite symbol you thought I was referring to.
Not sure we follow.
The warning, the threat, the serious, the reality. When it's the reality in regard, it's important we follow the abuse, the evil with obedience.
Russell, that's not what we're saying.
Yeah, it never is.
Excuse me, but when we mention these factors, we're just being honest. It saves lives.
For some odd reason, that is always the hero instead.
Russell, we're not saying just cooperate with the offenders. If there are ways to fix certain crises, we should be open to them. Vulnerability and the consideration of every possibility against all odds gives a good advantage, Russell.
Yeah, and if WrecktoMancer figures that out, us on the run, will just be the start. If WrecktoMancer gets his hands on every psychopath out there, mass shooters, mass murderers, mass killers, violent racists, fascists, terrorists, street gangs, maniacs, he'll be invincible. He cannot find that out, nor get his hands on those arsenals I just mentioned.
He already has.